Awesome. Thanks, Shirin. Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's webinar. So excited for this one because I think everybody needs to hear this, regardless of where you are in your business. I'm so privileged to actually have Tosin on the call. So it's so funny because I know Tosin from another dimension. So I used to do event planning, and that's how I met Tosin because Tosin's a vendor. She's a filmmaker. Can I call you that? Or she used to do like films for like weddings, recording of it and then like video of it and things like that. So that's how we met. So we worked on few events together, and that's how I met. And then of course I've been following her journey and how when she started like, the coaching, this mental wellness coaching. And I just thought, you know what, why not to have Tosin? Tosin's amazing. And I'm sure on our website we're gonna have like a bio and we share that later in the group. I think we even share that in the group actually to have people to read about Tosin. But funny enough, I don't like talking about like this what this person has done or what they have done. I let them speak themselves to their own on themselves. But I just want to touch base, like I've known Tosin for some time now, and honestly, she is real. Like, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything at all. Like, she'll just give you direct, literally. And she's a wife and a mom of two amazing girls, just like me. So I'm just so excited to hear about tonight, to just listen to her tonight, which is going to be very interesting because, again, this is a new dimension. I'm knowing her as well. So I'm all here to learn and to take a lot of things on board, as I'm sure you guys are as well. So yeah, Tosi, if you want to take the floor. Once again, thank you so much for agreeing to do this as well. Really, really appreciate it for being with us tonight. So yeah, if you want to take it up, that'd be good.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Mary. I appreciate that. I thought, let me just share my camera as well. I didn't prep anything in terms of presentation or anything because I'm more of a conversationist. I think we learn better through conversations. So everyone that has their mute button on, feel free to unmute because we're just going to talk and have a conversation. And obviously the topic of tonight, it's literally strategy of our well-being as coaches. And how did I even become a coach? What led me here? I think for me, it was simply burning out. Keyword, buzzword, I burnt out. That was it. And yeah, it's interesting what burnout does to you. It literally changes the dynamic of everything, your health, your capability, and like even down to financially as well. Burnout really ruins you in essence. And for me, my burnout signs started to show up quickly in it showed up in irritability. It showed up as irritability. It showed up as mood swings, it showed up as lethargicness, etc., etc. Ignoring the burnout further pushed towards like, more, like health complications that then, led to like, chest pains, the common things that we ignore, right? You would have a code for a month, the code never goes, blah, 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 blah. And that's where my journey somewhat started. And of course, through my own upbringing as well, trauma, all of that. And I started my own healing journey. And in that healing journey, I became really fascinated about the work, the healing work itself. As coaches, I see us as healers. You might be a financial coach. And actually, Shireen, Tinu, and Mary, can I ask you, what type of coaches are you guys?
I'm actually a financial coach, just as you mentioned.
Cool.
I specialise in working with young people, parents, families, youth. I spend a long time coaching young people, actually, and children.
Okay, so you're more of a, I'm trying to quantify it in a one-liner. So would I say that you're a young people's coach, just for now.
Oh, it's like
just to say.
youth, yeah, and communication. Yeah, it's around
Okay.
working with expression in that way. Yeah, it's kind of hard to quantify in one word.
Yeah. Well, I get it now.
Yeah.
Good evening, Shawnee. I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah.
And Mary, I know you're a business coach. And I'm a mental well-being coach. And Shawnee, when you're ready to join us, I wondered what type of coach you are yourself. And in everything, you know, you all have quite an intense workload, I would assume, being a youth engagement, you know, communicator, you know, being a financial coach and being a business coach. It is hands-on, intense. And I'm sure we all have our days that we're just thinking, is this life? can I do more with? And that's how I felt in my business as a cinematographer. You know, right. So Shawnee is a relationship coach for women. Thank you so much for responding.
Yes.
And thank you. And
Yeah.
say that again, Tina. Oh, I think Tina doesn't know. And for me, in essence, it became exhausting, and I started to just dread literally filming another wedding and just, you know, just tired and just frustrated. And the money wasn't ever making sense because, again, I was no longer productive. So I was charging these big numbers or whatever. But at the end of the day, it wasn't quantifying. It didn't make sense. I was unhappy, unfulfilled. And then I missed, you know, opportunities with my family, would miss out constant weekends away from home because I was constantly on the road. And I got fed up. I literally got fed up. And in my learning so I actually started my journey as a counselor. So I started the counseling you know, course. I did the level 2, did the level 3. I got my admission to do the qualifying level 4, which then allows you to become a therapeutic counselor, blah blah blah. But then I decided that I wanted to pause on that. And because I felt like counseling was a bit rigid, so I decided that I wanted to explore the coaching world. So I went off to work with DWP as a work coach. And I did that for 18 months. And I obviously at DWP, they train you as a coach, executive coach, which is very linked to the counseling, you know. So when the customers, which we call claimants, you know, these are people who are on benefits, would come and sit in front of us. You're pretty much counseling them, you're coaching them, you know, but I was coaching them in self-employment, you know, back into business. How can we coach you back into your life, blah, 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 blah. And what I quickly picked up on was a commonality. Everybody had the same trend, right? They're sitting in front of me because they're claiming, but there was a common trend. Everybody that sat in front of me was tired, exhausted, fed up, didn't have a direction anymore. And for me, it just came down to lack of strategy. And that strategy was looking after your well-being first. So it wasn't that they didn't have a good business idea. Some people sat in front of me and I thought, your business idea is insane. You know, obviously the pandemic didn't help. Pandemic forced a lot of people out of work. Let's not ignore that. Pandemic ruined a lot of people's businesses as well. So hence why a lot of these people were in front of me. But what I picked up on, like I was saying, was that there was this lack of mental wellness going on, where it was like everybody was just a walking zombie. And that bothered me a lot. So I removed myself from that. I was just like, I can't do this every day. So I stopped working at the job center and I went back into filming. So I filmed full time, still with the government. And I knew that filming weddings no longer brought me joy. So I haven't fully hung up my filming hat, as in wedding filmmaker's hat, but I rarely take on bookings anymore. So my last official wedding was October this year. And the day I literally filmed the last wedding, I had this big relief of, I can finally breathe. I say all of that to say that in thinking about my mental well-being and my strategies, and what led me to my passion for mental well-being was the fact that I was on my own healing journey, right? A physical healing journey, mental health healing journey. Like, I was starting to become really self-aware, like, why am I irritable? What's causing this stress? Why is my blood pressure so high? Apart from the fact that I have other medical conditions, but I was asking a lot of whys, you know, I wanted to know. And in my courses that I've done, in my learning, I've figured out how to somewhat work with myself. And these are my strategies. So I'm going to ask you guys soon what your strategies are, or maybe get you to do a little homework and ask you to maybe start thinking about, if you don't have them already, what could be my own mental well-being strategy for being a better coach, not for my clients, but for myself. So, because if you are good for yourself, I believe that you'll be great for your clients. But if you are not good for yourself, you will not be great for your clients, because you're only giving a percentage of yourself to them. Whereas when you're great for you, you can give more. That's what I found.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm starting to do differently, number one, I protect my sleep. My life depends on it. Listen, my sleep is, I literally start to wind down from 7:30. So I kind of wondered, what time does this actually end? How long is this session for? I unwind from 7:30, and by 8:30, sleep is calling me, and I need to be in my bed, and I want to sleep. And that's very crucial for me. And I found that the more I'm better rested, the more productive I am. So that's me. Sleep. Sleep. Same here. Sleep. Yeah, love it. I'm glad that someone is sharing that thought with me. I mean, I can go into details, but I'm sure we can Google sleep hygiene and what that looks like, blah, 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 blah. But sleep is my favorite thing. Recently, I've started to really think about what goes into my body as well. So the literal notion of you are what you eat is starting to become quite crucial and important to me. And I started to pay attention to how my body responds to when I put a certain food in my body. So for example, when I eat meat, I mean, it's been an issue for a long, long, long time, but when I eat meat, I find that I feel nauseous, but I kind of like just ignore it. Like, you know, meat is heaven. No, it's like, for me, my body obviously doesn't like it. So I need to start paying attention to what my body likes. And what I start to find is, the more I've started to give my body what it likes that is good, the bloating somewhat went down. The constant soiling belly somewhat didn't exist, even though I still got the mummy flap, you know, fupa, like Beyonce said. Sorry, I have a little humor there. But I'm starting to find that what goes in is starting to really matter, and it's starting to feel good as well. Of course, my daily medication that helps me stay alive still goes in. However, that's important, you know, but I try to avoid taking medication where necessary. But of course, I'm on this lifelong medication that I have to take. Apart from that, if I have a headache, I try to catch a rest rather than trying to feed myself paracetamol to keep going like a robot. I stop. So it's about just being very self-aware with one's body as well, and being so in tune with one's body. That's important to me. I've spoken for a long time, and I wanted to give people an opportunity Shawnee said exercising. Love that.
Yeah.
I wondered what Tina's was. Or you, Shireen.
Is Tinu available? Can you talk, Tinu? I don't know if she's traveling or she can turn her.
I'm trying to unmute myself. I don't know
There
what
you
was
go. I
going
knew you
on.
were there.
I don't know what was going on. For me, exercise is one of the things I try to do, and also I try to watch what I eat as well. I also do a kind of affirmations, if you know what I mean, in kind of prayers, just to get myself back to where I'm supposed to be. So those are the things that really helps me.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so important. Yeah, I love that. And Shawnee said, I hope I'm saying them correctly. Please let me know if I'm not. And
yes, you are,
Shawnee. Oh,
hi.
You've said exercising. I agree. That's a new thing I've adopted recently as well. And I love it. I'm in my gym wear because I'm going to the gym straight after this and then back to bed. Of course, it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy Thursday, as my sister would say. For
what
me,
about you, Shireen?
It's funny because I'm following your personal journey is similarities in some ways. And recently, especially through lockdown, I found that meditation helped me a lot, but I have to do it regularly. I have to do it habitually for it to keep me going. As soon as I stop, then I find that I get out of practice and out of the spirit of it. I've learned to say no. That's one of my favorite things to do now. And that's benefited me quite a lot, in all honesty. And just, you say sleep, like protect your sleep time. For me, it's more like my time. That's what I need to protect, and learning to say no helps me to do that. Yeah, so I can't say yes to everything, which I would, and I have done.
That. That is so valuable, and that is something I'm very big on as well. Because people pleasing actually can really shrink you. That's what I find anyway. Because if you're spreading yourself out to everybody, you're not really spreading quality, are you? You're spreading yourself so thin. But then when you start to think about actually, what am I actually saying yes to? And how is this beneficial to me, to the person? Am I just saying yes because I want to be seen or heard? It's not everywhere I need to be seen or heard. So I think, very much important that one learns how to say no. So I do appreciate that contribution. No, we do not, as far as I'm concerned, in the UK, celebrate Thanksgiving, Shawnee. Ours is Christmas. Another thing for me is recently somewhat found a community in the area in which I live, and I'm very much engrossed in it. And what I found is being involved within one's community has such a positive impact on, it has had positive impact on my well-being, my family's well-being, my kids' well-being, and I've seen also the impact in the other families that we are involved with. And a lot of us, we can, not a lot of us, but some of us maybe, we can sort of think maybe I want to be my own island and think we don't need community. I had that thought frame for a long time, because again of people hurt, church hurt, this hurt, that hurt, and then constantly pushing people away, thinking, don't know, no new friends, no. But then actually that was isolating me, and the human nature naturally needs people. We need people. So I find that being embedded in a community that is safe and healthy has been a positive impact to my mental well-being. So those are my strategies. I don't remember what I said. I think I said sleep, balanced diet, and community. Those are my 3 key. I have other things I do, such as exercising, you know, etc. But those are the 3 key things that I value. I want to introduce something that you probably as coaches would have heard about anyway, but I've kind of stolen it and recreated it from something called the Wellbeing Wheel. When I came across the Wellbeing Wheel a few years ago, I fell in love with just the old concept of it. And then I recreated my own thoughts around that. And I've called mine my championing list. So when you think about the term championing, it's my supporting list. That's what it is really. So when I think about my well-being, I break it down into this championing list of things that helps me with my daily choices and thoughts. So I think about things from an emotional standpoint. So these are the lists. I'm going to name it out now. So I think about things emotionally. I think about things financially. I think about things as I'm a Christian, so my spirituality is quite important to me. So I think about things spiritually. I think about things, you know, how's this going to affect me physically? So the choices I'm making as a coach, as a helper, as a healer, how is this going to affect me physically? You know, so again, if we're constantly saying yes, you're going to thin out, and then you're going to burn out, then you're going to get sick. And then you're going to be in hospital, and then no one's going to care. And then, do you know what I mean? And then, God forbid, if one passes on, then the next coach comes in and takes over. So stopping to think, to kind of say, what is my choices? How is this choice going to affect me physically? How is this choice going to affect me socially? Socially is part of it as well. Mentally is part of it. Nutritionally, environmentally. When I talk about environmentally, I'm not talking about the outside wall. I'm talking about my physical space. That's what I mean by environmentally. So what does my desk look like? So right now in front of me, my desk is busy, but then it's busy because it's a reflection of the day I've had today. I've got laundry on the floor, is a reflection of the week I'm having. I've got sick kids in the house. One didn't go to school today. I'm swept off my feet. But I'm prioritizing, knowing that you're not relevant to me right now. Those clothes can sit on the floor. I really don't care. What's important to me is to get the kids back to good health, right? And to make sure that I'm not burnt out in that process. So, you know, environmentally, my space, what does that say about my well-being right now? I've got intellectually as well. How am I developing intellectually? How am I engaging myself intellectually? So some people is podcast, reading, etc. Some people are on a lifelong course like PhDs. I don't understand, but yeah. Shawnee said, I'm a Christian. I agree with you on how our choices affects us, 1000%. So when I'm thinking about my choices, my championing list is really something I look at constantly to sort of say, how is my championing list supporting my current life choices right now? And a bonus one for me is sexually, I'm a married woman, and I don't want people to feel uncomfortable, but how is the choices I'm making right now going to impact on my sexual life with my partner? That's a bonus one.
That's an important one. That's important.
Yeah, very much so.
Very important.
It is very important. That's me. I'm pretty much, these are my strategies. These are my things, my little things. And I hope you guys found that really useful. And yes, I'm open to questions.
On the back of your choices, if I may come in, excuse me. Is I got to realize, and that has helped me to avoid burnout, is to know that I cannot do everything. Learn how to navigate. You know, I have to learn how to let go of some things and focus on priority, just as you mentioned. Even as little as house chores, you know, get someone to help out, even as little as cooking some meals. So these are the things I've been able to put in place that have helped me as well. So I just want to put that out there for us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, that's very, very helpful.
It's similar. And is it a common, I mean, speaking for myself, yeah, I've been burnt out twice in my career within like 10-year gaps between the two. So it really has taken me a healing journey now to really understand who I am and what, not just, and it's funny you say that, because not just about what I expect from other people, but people's expectations of me actually was something that was overwhelming me, because, you know, I'm part of lots of communities, I have a huge family, work stuff and projects that I do. And then when I look at it and think, why am I, you know, up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Why am I working harder than everyone else? Why, you know, and then I did an exercise in just writing down literally a list of all the different, you know, strings that were attached to me. And when I looked at it, I was overwhelmed. So it was like, well, no wonder I'm feeling so stressed, you know, because I'm trying to give a piece of myself in all these ways to all these different people. And I'm not keeping anything for myself. So yeah, it's you know, this time round, you know, and even now, like, you know, before, most evenings working late, juggling work, day job, 9 to 5, projects in the evening, meetings, partner, children, family. And some weeks I have to say, do you know what, I'm just going to sit on my sofa and I'm not going to feel guilty, and I don't feel like I'm overworking, and I'm going to have a bath and I am going to sit in it and I'm going to turn my phone off and I'm not going to send those emails, and I'm fine with that.
I like that.
Good, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's me. I'm good. You know, and some days, and sometimes that's a week, but I'm still fine with that, because I'm actually listening, like you say, to what do I need right now? You know, do I need to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning? Whose priorities am I solving by staying up to send that email? Because I guarantee you, when I look at it, it's not mine. I'm doing that for someone else to do something, you know. It's not for me, essentially, or it's to make me look good so I can say I've done it. You know, I don't hold myself to those, you know, standards anymore, because I put myself first, and it's important, you know, and we've all got a lot to do and a long way to go. And I think I better work with, I'm still working with young people in my day job, in my 9 to 5. I'm a safeguarding advisor, which comes with its own stuff. So even now, even more so, I have to manage my energy and my time, because, you know, I'm giving a lot and I have to be really aware of that I get that downtime. So yeah, and it is, and I'm learning more all the time, you know, and even listening to you today, I've scribbled some bits down. Strategies is a really good way to think about it. Like, what are my strategies before I get to the point where, you know, I'm really going to think about that a bit more. So thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you sharing that as well. And you saying that you're okay with it is, for me, it's like ding dong, you know. A lot of us are not okay with just sitting with ourselves to ask that question, whose priorities are these? These ain't my priority. So why am I doing it? So it is important. And again, I'll give an example. Today was very intense at work. So this is my work setup. Behind me was a child on the bed all day. So whilst I'm in meetings, and then they got the TV blared at the background with the cartoon. And then while I'm in meetings, you know, she's poking me. And I'm thinking, okay, you shouldn't even be here. But, you know, I say that to say I had a point. I was trying to make a point. But my brain shut down for a second.
It was transported back to your afternoon. Yeah, it was transport. You went straight to thinking, woo, what day?
I was trying to make a very good point. I had my solid point, and it was a good example of it. Oh, yes. So I didn't have a lunch break. That's my point I was trying to make. I didn't have a lunch break, and it was just meetings upon meetings, demands upon demands. I was like, fine. I got to 3 o'clock, and I needed to pick up the younger one from school. And I just sent a message and I said, right, I'm going to be offline from 3 till 4. If you need me, I will respond from 4. Between now and 4 o'clock, I don't exist. And I left my phone at home and I took my older daughter, got in the car and we drove to school. And we just sat in the car and listened to music and just had a laugh and picked up the other one. Then we went to get, dinner ingredients. Then we came back, we cooked. I fed them dinner and I came here. But the point was I needed that hour of not putting work as a priority, because at the end of the day, I'm entitled to my 1 hour break. And a lot of the time I see people at work literally not taking their 1 hour break and they're eating through their desk. And I'm thinking, are you lot all right? Like, like, why? And I would make a comment and I would ask questions like, do you guys not leave your desk? But then I realized that happened to me today. And I thought, no, I'm leaving. I'm going to take my hour. And I think it is important that we, as individuals, really, really, really find our balance and check in with ourselves. And that was me checking in with myself earlier on and saying to myself, are you okay? No, you're not, because you're being edgy. You've been sat at your desk for 6 hours from 9 a.m. and it's 3 o'clock now and you haven't had a break. You haven't even fed the child that's sick. You're telling the child to go help herself. Like, you know what I mean? And she's helping herself to Oreos and things that shouldn't be going in her belly. So I say all that to say that, can we please make it a thing to constantly check in with ourselves as during the day? As coaches, we should know that we check in with our clients. We check in with self. So crucial.
Yeah. And ask the questions like, whose priorities am I? Yeah, whose priorities are greater right now, mine or the other 10,000 things that need doing at this moment in time? And competing priorities, Yeah, it's important. But no, it's good to think about it, isn't it? Because we do, especially when we got a 9 to 5, or you're doing your own business. And in lockdown, I was at my desk from 10 o'clock, so I wouldn't start before 10. That was one rule I checked in with. But from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and you'd be at it and you feel, I'm working, I'm doing all this great stuff. But I'm not sleeping, I'm not resting, I'm not eating, I'm not spending time with so yeah, it's important.
Yeah. Yeah. I wondered if any of the other ladies had questions for us. Well,
I'm just checking the chat.
Ladies, anybody? No? I have poured my heart out and I have shared my strategies. I have nothing else to say.
Well, thank you. And we know, because you shared with us already, that you've got other things to do to keep on schedule. I really respect the fact that you protect your bedtime, your sleep. I like that. That's resonated with me. I've literally just had a disagreement with my partner about oversleep and me disrespecting his sleep is what he said to me, and I brushed it off and said, you know what, you're not 5, you don't need to go to bed at that time every night. But now I've heard you say it in that context, I'm like, okay, might need to go and have a conversation where I reflect a little bit on that and come in a different spirit.
I think an apology is coming.
Yeah, I think a thoughtful reflection has been had. And an apology is needed. That's because I never really thought about sleep that way. Sleep was something that, just get as much as you can manage on. That's changed a bit now. But, again, that's how you have to do your journey, isn't it? What's your thing? What do you prioritize? What makes a difference to you? So, yeah. I go to bed at 11 o'clock now. Okay, has anyone got anything to add? Because we will wind down, and thank you so much.
Hello, sorry guys, it's Mary.
Hi Mary. I knew you were there.
And I've been quiet.
Yes.
I know. So thank you so much for that, Tosin. And I resonate with everything you said. So sleep is one thing for me, and my husband knows that. Like, I've not gotten my sleep. Do not even try me. Do not even try me. I will not look after anybody. Let me go and sleep that sleep. When I come back, I'll be like Superwoman. So sleep is one thing that I don't compromise on. And I love how you said community. We can't do it alone. That's amazing. Honestly, I have amazing community as well. And other thing is also, for me, is understanding why am I stressed, because I stress eat. So I know that something is wrong. And then I start gaining weight and then I'm not happy. So it's like a spiral, it just goes down the rabbit hole. And so I asked myself, why am I like this? What have I taken on that I shouldn't have taken on? Am I saying too many yeses and not enough no's? So just doing that kind of retro on myself then makes me, like this year, I think I'm better at saying no this year and say, you know what, no, it's not serving me at the moment, or it's just not important at the moment. So I'm gonna move away from that. And same thing for that office thing. Like I work from home like 90% of the time, but like when it's lunch, I literally slam my laptop, I close and I walk away and I just watch Nollywood or Netflix for that 1 hour. And when it's time to go back, I go back. Or sometimes I actually sleep and I set my alarm so I don't oversleep. That 1 hour sleep, I'm pumped for the rest of the day. And people wonder, man, how do you sleep out of the rest? Like, girl, if only you know, I do sleep, and that's how I can function. But I just I put my own 2 pence. So thank you so much, Tosin, for tonight. It's been amazing. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I think Tinu wanted to say something.
Yeah, Tinu, jump in.
Oh, no. I'm fine. Thank you, Tosin, for all that you've mentioned. I've been sinking in a lot and I've learned a lot as well. I have problem with sleep, in all fairness. So I think I need to work on that. I'm somebody that don't like to sleep, I need to sleep, but I just don't know why. So I think I have to prioritize sleep now, like Shireen, I go to bed 11, 12, 1. But if I could set a time and meet up with it, follow through, just as you do, I think it will be better for me.
Yeah.
But I thank you so much for all the nuggets you shared tonight. That's very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Well, on behalf of Association of Black Coaches, thank you so much. I hope we get you again and again and again. This talk and our conversation, if everyone's happy, will be added to our YouTube channel and go on the website and get shared in our resources. So if anyone's not happy with that, let me know, but that's what we're going to do with that. And thank you, and we'll see you all again soon.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.